Aloha Friday, everyone. This is Dr. Pete, live here in Honolulu, Hawaii. And it's Friday's Aloha Q&A live with Dr. Pete, our March 1st edition. Happy March, everybody. Welcome. And just to remind you, we are a chiropractic clinic. We offer chiropractic physical therapy here on the island of Oahu with 3 clinics to serve you best, which is in Hawaii Kai, Salt Lake, and Kapolei. And in fact, we are Hawaii Spinest. So we're going to go solo today. Marissa can't be with us today, but she will be here back with us next week. In fact, she'll be right here beside me next week for the first time. So that's going to be fantastic. But she has just waved and checked in and said, "Hi, Marissa. Look forward to seeing you with us here next week right beside me in the co-pilot seat." So we already have some questions to start with, so let's get started. Okay, first question to already come up is, can we as chiropractors treat inflammatory conditions? So let me actually qualify that. So inflammatory conditions could be anything from psoriatic arthritis to lupus to rheumatoid arthritis, those types of things. So as far as actual inflammatory conditions, no. What we do treat is we treat people with the inflammatory conditions. So what I mean is the joint pain, the joint aches, the muscle aches, the fatigue, or chronic fatigue, and all those types of other conditions. We treat the people that have that, so they have more energy, so their immune system is stronger, so their joints hurt less, so they have actual less inflammation to move out of their joints and out of their body. So in that way, we actually treat the people with the conditions, and as a byproduct, it lowers or keeps some of that inflammatory condition in check indirectly. So that's actually a really good question, because it's very important to qualify the difference. But inflammatory conditions, of course, can be treated with other doctors as well, which is really important, and nutritionists and exercise. So it's not one person, it's everybody has to be part of a team to treat those types of inflammatory conditions. And again, not to be confused with I sprained my ankle, that's inflammation, or my back pain. We're talking about actual medical inflammatory conditions, autoimmune conditions, that kind of stuff in the body. So that was a really, really good question. Okay, so another one came up in the meantime, which is, how does acupuncture work, and does it decrease inflammation? So first and foremost, I will tell you that I really don't know how acupuncture works. And why? Because I'm not an acupuncturist, and I don't speak on behalf of other professions. What we do know is that, of course, acupuncture is an Eastern modality, Eastern type of healthcare and medicine, and physical therapy and chiropractic and medicine are Western. So what happens is, I tell people, don't try to think of acupuncture in the terms of Western medicine and Western science, because it's not going to work. It can't explain it. It gets lost in translation. But the basic premise of acupuncture is there are points and energies in the body and meridians and this type of thing, which flow your energy in your body. And if there's any stagnation, just like with the immune system or nervous system, it will cause a decrease in the flow of the chi, and that could lead to illness, symptoms, and disease. So it's great for thyroids and hormones. It is good for pain. It is good for migraines. It's good for all those types of things. So in conjunction with and co-treat with everything else, yes. Plus, a lot of insurances cover acupuncture. So we're going to be adding it to our clinic hopefully shortly as well. It's covered here in Hawaii by HMAA. It's covered by the VA itself. It is also covered by work comp, and it is covered by auto accidents here in Hawaii. So that's really cool. Yay, acupuncture. Great job. Okay. Now, what's the difference between acupuncture and acupressure? Well, acupressure is just specific pressure points or trigger point therapy to work on a tight muscle or spasm muscle that is needing to be released, relaxed, or is in spasm. So just because it has the word acu, it just means sort of accurate, like what's AccuWeather forecast, right? Even though we know that it's never accurate when they do the forecast, and the next day the weatherman says, "Hey, told you we got it right, most accurate weather here in town, hey, Channel 5," or whatever it is. So that's the difference between acupressure and acupuncture. Just don't get the word acu confused between the two. So, all right, any other questions? Here's a good one. It says, how does massage help reduce inflammation? So that's a really good question. So it's more of there's acute inflammation. I just fell down, sprained my ankle. I just banged my elbow. I just sprained my big toe. I just strained my low back. So that's acute inflammation, and we really want to be careful with that, how we treat that. We really actually want to be able to move the inflammation out, but not by and reduce it, but typically by cold and actually minimizing some movement initially, because it's like cutting yourself. You want to actually be able to heal the cut versus start picking at it right away. So basically what we want to do when it comes to massage is move the stagnant congestion, the old inflammation, the stuff that's been sitting there, the lactic acids, the prostaglandins, the bradykinins, the substance P's, all these different pain chemicals. We want to start moving them out of the body, out of the muscles, out of the fascia, out of the tissues, towards the lymph nodes, towards the circulation, to remove that from the body. So that is how it helps reduce inflammation. But remember, be careful with any kind of treatment, therapy, chiropractic, massage, just jump around or sprained ankle. Just be careful, because you have to go through those first 3 days of the actual acute inflammatory stage of RICE, which is the rest, the ice compression, the elevation, before you get into any type of treatment. Okay. Let's continue on inflammation. Good. These are leading one to the next. How does diet affect inflammation? Oh, quite a bit. Absolutely. There are, of course, acidic foods. There's like a lot. People have a lot of meat in their diet. There is more basic foods, vegetarian-based diets that lower the amount of inflammation in the body. There's cheeses. There's wine. There's chocolate. There's all these different foods that also create allergens, but it's also the mixture of the foods that create inflammation as well. So when people are on a ketogenic diet, they find that a lot of their congestion and allergies and things go away, because it was the way they were mixing carbs and proteins and fats together as their fuel source. So when they started going clean and getting some of that out of their system, it's just like putting the best form of gas or electricity or what fuel source. So I just said, no, not cheese. Well, no, cheese is not inflammatory in a keto diet. So I hated cheese, and I couldn't eat dairy for many, many years. Sure, I could eat pizza, but if God forbid I had pizza and a shake or pizza and milk or something, I'd get all stopped up, and then I'd be congested, and I'd be bloated, and I'd have gas. But ever since I went to a predominantly ketogenic diet, some almost 5 years ago, I can eat all the cheese I want, and whipped cream. I don't eat ice cream, and heavy cream, and so all those dairy type things I can have now and not have any inflammation, any congestion. In fact, I feel much better. My joints hurt less when I go off keto, and I go to my Kit Kat phase of my, it's the holidays, and I want to eat rice or burritos or whatever, tacos, whatever I might have, Chinese food, whatever it is. The craving is for that 4 times a year. After 2 days, my joints feel absolutely terrible. So, but don't worry. There's ways around that. So yes, so eating more, not healthy. That's not the issue. The issue is the fuels, then how they're being mixed, and how the foods are being mixed. That's what affects inflammation in the body. But there are some specific foods too, as well. And it depends. Each person's different. How much they can tolerate. My wife Jan, she can't tolerate very much carbs at all, and I always had a very high tolerance for carbs, just not as much anymore. Okay, so another one is same topic. What do I see in my office in regards to inflammation that are not from acute injury? Okay, great. So again, you're going to have the people that have the autoimmune conditions that come in. So we're going to see them that have inflammation that aren't acute inflammation. And of course, we also want to treat them when they're not being acute, because it's more painful when they're having a rheumatoid flare-up or psoriatic flare-up or chronic fatigue flare-up. But also, most of our conditions we treat are actually inflammation conditions. So to explain again how it works, when there's damage or trauma to the body, either through just wear and tear for being alive, just breathing and working and standing and sitting, or an actual, ow, I slipped and fell, then the body starts to produce pain chemicals to help heal the area. So chemicals go out there, they start to eat the little dead cells, and they start to try to repair itself. And what the body does is starts releasing multiple different types of chemicals. And those chemicals, basically, because we try not to move too much when we hurt, we limit motion, the stuff just sits there and gets stuck. That's called passive congestion. That's what most of us have. The acute is the sprain of the ankle theory always. But passive congestion is what? I'm stiff in the morning from a workout the day before, from sitting all day, from walking a lot, from carrying grocery, whatever the reason is. Kids, the dog pulling me, and then it just sits there in the muscle tissues, and that's what we think and we feel is inflammation. That's why a lot of the anti-inflammatories don't work, because it's not from trauma, it's from life. So what we do is we move that stuff out through manipulation, through heat, through stretching, through exercise. And if the joints aren't moving properly and those inflammatory chemicals get stuck in the joints, over time that leads to more pain, degeneration, and of course arthritis. So anyway, that's all the time we have for today. I do want to remind everybody that we are here every single Friday, 9:30 Hawaiian Standard Aleutian Time. And another really cute thing I picked up this week, and I never realized before, is what we like to say in our clinics, is how old you are is your business. How old you feel is our business. Dr. Pete, IFC, here in Hawaii, on Oahu, 3 clinics, chiropractic massage. Call us, text us, online, on the phone. Mahalos. God bless, and have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye.